baseballcast.com. I'm Assistant Sports Information Director Nick Muller, alongside head baseball coach Chandler. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So you guys are picked to finish third in the Peach Belt this year. You've been ranked in a lot of polls. Do you feel like you've have a little more respect coming into this season than before?
Yeah, certainly says a lot about our program and where we're at. Now moving into year 4. It says a lot about the kids that have come before the last 3 years to help us get to this point, and a lot of people in administration, a lot of support we've had. But yeah, there's no question we're getting more respect, and credit to our players for going out there and earning that and playing hard. And we've got a lot of returners from last year, which certainly helps moving forward into this year. With the run we made. So a lot of the kids here have earned the respect of a lot of people around the country.
Kind of going a little further into that, got 2 preseason all-conference selections in Vinny Rodriguez and Zach Willoughby. And then Jackson Slaid might have had the best year out of anybody last year. Can you talk about, maybe go a little more in depth with those returns, what they mean to this team?
Yeah, no, we've got returners, and you got to throw Will Fulmer in there, who over the course of 4 years is probably one of the best players this school's had, and will continue to be a huge leader for us. And Will kind of had a down year for him, and down year for him was still really good. It was still a good year. But between those 4 guys, between Will and Jackson and Vinny and Zach, there's 4 players right there that I believe are as good as anybody in our league, and all have first team all conference ability and all region ability, and we're going to expect a lot out of those guys if we're going to have the year that we want to have. But those guys have all had great years and had great careers here, and luckily a couple of them are still underclassmen. But I look forward to those guys providing us a lot of leadership and obviously production as well. But yeah, those guys will be catalysts, and there's a lot of other good returners to mix in with those guys, but those are 4 that are certainly get a lot of recognition.
And then coming in to kind of mix in with the returners, you have a nice recruiting class coming in, kind of highlighted by Trent Higginbotham and Alex Pondick. Trent, kind of big name because he got drafted by the Twins. Can you talk about the newcomers and what role they're going to play in this team?
Yeah. There's a lot of new good players in the program, and obviously you named 2 that are going to be very important roles. Both those guys will probably be weekend starters for us. Both of them have had a lot of success before they got here. Obviously, Trent getting drafted and having the opportunity to come back and play has been great for him and great for us. And we expect a lot out of him. And Alex had quite the high school career, was highly recruited, and a guy that we targeted for a long time. And obviously we expect a lot out of him as well. Another new guy that's going to probably play a lot is Dane Hutchin, shortstop out of Colorado. Probably another one of the young guys that will see a lot of playing time. Matthew Haskins, another name, a guy that's come in from junior college that we signed, an outfielder that's had a great fall and great spring, and we're expecting quite a bit out of him as well to start. So yeah, there's a lot of new guys. There's several that I have not named, but those are some of the names that obviously stand out from the get-go. Jeremy Bagnall, another one that's going to have a big role for us on that pitching staff that's come in and done a great job at junior college ranks as well.
Great. So, Peach Belt Conference, one of the best baseball conferences there is in Division II. Could you just talk about kind of the conference as a whole, what you're expecting this year?
Yeah, no question. Every year, every year the Peach Belt is a grind, and you look in the rankings every year, and probably 7 or 8 of the best teams in the country, in the top 30, 40 in the country, are from the Peach Belt. So that's the way it's been since I've been here, and it's going to continue to be that way. It's such a great league. We've got great coaches who do a great job recruiting good players and keeping good players and coaching them. And so, year in and year out, it's going to be a good league, and I hope we continue to add value that we are to the league, and we'll compete there with everybody, I hope.
And outside the league, you also got to deal with the region. How important are those non-conference regional games for you in the big picture?
Well, they're huge. And we learned the hard way last year. We played arguably the best schedule in the country, certainly in the region last year, with the numbers, which the numbers showed. And our guys learned last year every game matters. Every game's important. It came down to probably 1 or 2 games for us last year not getting in, which is certainly a motivation with all the returners that we do have back. It's been something on the mind of all of us since the season ended last year. I think they have a better understanding this year of just how important every game means. And when we talk about it, before the game, I think it means a little bit more to them going into this year. But those region games, those non-conference games are really huge, and how you schedule is important. And we certainly need to take care of business at a conference as well as in conference. When you start trying to talk about regionals, it's a lot of good teams fighting for very few spots.
Right. You're going to start off with one of those. West Georgia coming to town this weekend to open up the season. Got a little preview of what you're expecting from the Wolves?
Yeah, they don't return a whole lot of guys. I know they got a couple really good arms on the mound. They got one of the best pitchers in the Gulf South Conference, another great conference, an all-conference performer coming back, so he'll be a good test for us. I know, offensively, from what we looked at and heard, they don't have a whole lot of returners. They lost a lot of guys. So don't know a whole lot about them. They got a couple good arms on the mound, but they'll certainly be well coached, and they'll come in here and play hard. And it's opening weekend, and everybody will be excited. So we need to be ready to play and be at the top of our game.
As you said, it's going to be a great weekend here at Montevallo. Baseball season opened up this Saturday, 1 o'clock, doubleheader against West Georgia. Make it out to Kermit A. Johnson Field if you can. If you can't, all games will be streamed live on MontevalloFalcons.com. Coach Rose, thanks again for joining us. Good luck this season. I'm sure we'll be talking again soon.
Thank you.
Again, for Coach Rose, I'm Nick Muller. Thanks for joining us, and go Falcons. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on MontevalloFalcons.com. I'm Assistant Sports Information Director Nick Muller, alongside Edward Brandsema, Will Fulmer, Jackson Slaid, all on the baseball team. Thanks for joining us here today, guys.
Well, thank you for having us.
All right, we're going to start off, Ed and Will. You guys, part of Coach Rose's initial recruiting class. You guys have been here 4 years. Obviously, a big turnaround in 4 years. Can you talk about kind of the evolution of the program and what drew you here in the first place?
You go first. Well, knowing the program started out with 13 wins the year before, it was kind of tough to make the decision to come, but ultimately it came down to Coach Rose's recruiting ability, and he really promised us that we were going to make it to a conference championship and ultimately fight for a national championship, and that's exactly what we've done. The mindset of the team is to just be scrappy, and that's just what we've done from the beginning. And we started that the first year, got progressively better, and last year we made it to the conference championship. So I think the identity of the team is mostly just be scrappy and play hard every single day, get better every single day.
I agree. Yeah, really what drew me here was Rose, and his kind of promise that the program was going to turn around. And I think in these 4 years that me and Fulmer have been here, we've really seen the turnaround of not being kind of satisfied with being a mediocre team. We want to strive for more. Like last year, we made it to the conference tournament, but we want more. So I think that's really been our identity.
So he's lived up to every recruiting promise he gave you.
Yeah, so far.
Exactly.
And Jackson, obviously you transferred in. Can you what drew you here, and do you see the same things that Will and Ed are talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Rose, he's a great recruiter, and I liked the way everything sounded when I was talking to him on the phone. And honestly, I kind of came down here blind, so to speak. I came on a little visit. It was about an hour's worth visit on the way home from summer ball, and I don't know, between him and Coach Moss and Coach Lewis, I just seemed like a good fit and a fun place and a good program to be a part of. So
great. Tough season last year. I mean, obviously you did pretty well, getting to the conference championship game, kind of unexpected, but the closer you got to kind of make the heart rate, not making the tournament, I assume, a little harder. Has that driven you guys this year? I assume you all remember that going into the season.
Yeah, I think it kind of pushed us to another level. I know, especially myself, that vision of them kind of just dogpiling on the mound afterwards, winning the conference championship, and knowing we were that close. Even without winning the conference championship, we still had a chance to get into regionals. And I think the biggest thing was knowing that everything was still in our hands. In that last game was kind of the hardest thing to deal with.
Yeah, I think it's motivation every single day in the weight room, taking ground balls, taking swings, all the pitchers, everything. I just think that every single day you know that you lost in the conference championship and you want to dogpile, and that's the biggest goal for every team. And I think seeing them dogpile last year really motivates everybody every single day.
yeah, and just to keep the trend going here, obviously losing a big game like that is tough, and really all you can do is take it and use it as fuel and learn from it and better yourself and all your teammates and work hard to get back in that position and not have the same result. So.
This year a little bit different. You guys are coming in with some expectations. You're not going to catch anybody by surprise this year. You picked to finish third in the conference. You're ranked in basically every poll that's come out. You guys are on this team more than anybody else. Obviously, you're a part of it. What are you seeing from your guys, from your teammates, and what do you think the real potential of your team is?
So you go first this time.
Oh man, as far as this team goes, the sky's the limit. We had a heck of a team last year, and I think we've only improved, you know, since this time last year. And yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit. There's plenty of talent, and you know, the unique thing about this team is that I think there's not a lot of individuals. You know, I think everybody here really just wants to win, and they put that first, and you know, everybody puts their work in and is excited to be out there. You know, we haven't really had any practices that just kind of drag. Everybody's kind of up tempo, and it's been fun to be a part of so far. And you know, sky's the limit.
You know, the rankings are awesome, but it just comes down to really performing on the field, and I think that's what everyone wants to do. They not necessarily prove people wrong, but make people think about us as Montevallo baseball, not just the, you know, younger brother finished last in the conference every year. They're scared of us,
Right.
and I like instilling fear in our opponents. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree with what they're saying. I think we're gonna be really good this year. You know, hopefully go out on top as a senior. But yeah, I think we got a lot of great talent, and not just talent. We work hard, and I think that's just a special thing that we got to combine all of our talent, and then we just work really hard. So.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you guys joining me here today. Shake on it. Absolutely. We'll go down the line. Jackson, I'll get you. Baseball season open up is this Saturday, 1 o'clock doubleheader with West Georgia. Make it out to Kermit A. Johnson Field if you can. If not, we will be streaming all games live on MontevalloFalcons.com, new feature this year. So again, Edward Brandsema, Fulmer, Jackson Slaid, thanks for joining us, and go Falcons.